Okay, so this is part 3 of our 5.6 notes on simple interest. Okay, let me get this back up here. Now, so this time, of course, we're still using our I equals PRT to do this. Interest equals principal times rate times time. So a bank offers 3 kinds of savings. The simple annual interest rate is determined by the principal. If you save less than 500, you get 1.5% return. If you if you have 500 to 5,000 in the savings account, you get 2% interest. If you have more than 5,000, you get 3% interest. Okay. So how long does it take an account with a principal of $800 to earn $100 in interest? Okay, so how long? There's how we know we're looking for time. Okay, because in this section we're looking for time. How long does it take? Okay, so we have all of our pieces that we need to know. The principal is going to be, right, $800. So $800 we put in this category. So my rate is, if I move the decimal, 1, 2, that's 0.02 for my rate. Now, I don't know the time, that's what we're trying to figure out, but I do know the interest. How long does it take to earn $100 in interest? Okay? So now I'm going to plug those 3 numbers into my formula. So the interest is equal to the principal times the rate times the time. And the time is what we're looking for. So the first thing to do is multiply together the things that you have. Right? So we're going to bring down our 100 equals, and then 800 times 0.02. So that's going to be 800 times 0.02. So that gives us 16. So if I go over here, that is 16. And then you still have your t, like that. Okay, so now I'm just going to bring this up here to keep working. Right, so we have 100 equals 16t. So now to solve this, I would divide by 16 on both sides. So 100 divided by 16. And that equals 6.25. 6.25, and that's time. Now, that would be 6.25 years. 6.25 years. Okay? Now, the second question is similar to that. How long does it take an account with a principal of $5,500 to earn $660? Okay, there's not much space in there, so we'll try to squeeze this in. So let's come over here. We'll use this space. Principal for this one is $5,500. Okay, the rate, well, since we're going to save that much, that puts us up into this rate. So if we move that over 2 places, 0.03 is my rate. And then the interest is $660. How long does it take till I get that much in interest? So if I substitute that in, the interest, or I, is equal to P, which is the principal, $5,500, times the rate, which is 0.03, times the time. So now I'm going to bring down my 660, multiply these two together, 5,500 times 0.03, and that is 165. 165t. So then I will need to get t all alone. So I'll divide by the 165t. So 660 divided by 165. That equals exactly 4. So the time then would equal 4 years. Okay. Okay, we're going to do a couple of other examples here. And then we're just going to move forward to the next thing. Okay, so right here, they give us the I, the P, and the R. So we're going to plug it into the formula. So this right here, we're going to move that decimal over 2 places. So my rate is 0.09. So I'm going to go the interest is equal to the principal times the rate times the time. So then I need to multiply that together. 1,000 times 0.09. So that equals 90. And then don't forget your t, 90t. Then to get t all alone, we have to divide by 90. So 720 divided by 90. That equals 8 years. All right, then let's do number 12. I equals P. Now the rates, here's our decimal, 1, 2. So we'll have to add a 0. 0.045 times t. So we need to multiply that together, so bring down your 54. 800 times 0.054. 45. That is 36. So that's 36, but don't forget the t, So divide by 36. So 54 divided by 36. That equals 1.5. So the time is 1.5 years. 1 year, 6 months. Okay. All right, so we're going to turn the page to this table right over here. So notice on this table, sometimes we're missing the principal, sometimes we're missing the rate, sometimes the time, and then sometimes it's just a basic simple interest formula. So remember, right, I equals P times R times T, right? I equals P R T. So for this one, we're missing the I, the interest, so we just multiply those together. So this is number 16. We're going to do that right here, 16. So this one, the interest, will just equal the principal, which is 12,000, times the rate. So remember, we need this, 1, 2. So that's 0.0425, 0.0425, times the time, which is 5 years. So I'll get my calculator and we'll go 12,000 times 0.0425 times 5. And so that's going to give us 2,550. All right, so, and that is dollars. So that's $2,550 right there. Okay, 2550. Okay, so that was number 16. Now in 17, what are we missing? Well, this time we're missing the P. We don't have the P. So it's that part of our formula that we're missing right there. So we're going to take the other parts, the interest, the rate, and the time, and plug them in to where they go. So this is number 17. Okay, so on 17, the I is the 828.75. The principal, we don't know. The rate, move this over, 0.065 times the time, which is 18 months. But remember, we need that in terms of years. So we go 18 divided by 12. If you need to, come over here. 18 divided by 12. That gives us 1.5. So the years on 17 would be 1.5 years. All right. So now we multiply together what we can. So bring this down. And then 0.065 times 1.5. 0.065 times 1.5. That is 0.0975. 0.0975 P for principal. All right. So then to get P by itself, I need to divide by 0.0975. Same thing over here, 0.0975. So up here that'll cancel. So 828.75, 828.75 divided by 0.0975, 0.0975, and look, that comes out to exactly 8,500. Isn't that awesome? All right. $8,500. Okay. Let's see. Let's then go. So that's going to go right in this part. 8,500. All right. So we're not going to do this problem, so don't worry about that. So let's do now number 18. So what are we missing on 18? Well, on 18, we don't know the time. And that's what we just did today. We don't know the time on that one. It's right there. We're missing that part. So we're going to fill in everything else. So I got my interest, I got my principal, and I got my rate. So we're going to plug that in. All right. So the interest is $5,425. And the principal is $15,500. All right. And then the rate, move this over, 1, 2. That's a pretty good rate. 0.0875. 0.0875 at times the time. Yeah, we don't know what the time is. Okay, so we have to multiply together what we know. So we got 5,425, and then 15,500 times 0.0875. All right, 1,500 times 0.0875. That gives us 1356.25. 1356.25, and then we still have our T. So then we would divide right here, divide by 1356.25. 1356.25. All right, so we're going to jump in and do that division. 5425. 5425 divided by 135625. 135625. 135625. I did not get the right number there. I don't know what that is. Stop. Close. Okay. 1356.25. There we go. All right, so that equals exactly 4. All right, so that means the time, because this cancels out, the time is 4, and it's always in years. 4 years. Okay, I do want to do number 19. We're going to have to squeeze it in over here. In this spot, we're going to do 19 right in this spot right here. Okay, so I do really want to do this to just finish this out. So this was 4 years right there. So on number 19, we don't have the interest. So I want to do another review problem with the interest. So we're going to plug everything else where it goes. We don't know the interest, but the principal is, excuse me, I apologize. We do know the interest. The interest, I'm going to have to do it down here, is 4252.50. And that equals the principal, which is 18,000. And we don't know the rate, so that would go right there. But the time is 54 months. So let's go and see what is 54 divided by 12, because that's going to give us the year. So 54 divided by 12, that's exactly 4.5, right? So that gives us 4.5 right there. Okay, so we had our interest equals the principal times the rate times the time. Okay, so let's bring this down. The 4252.80. And then we're going to multiply together the 18,000 and the 4.5. Okay, so let's go over here and do 18,000 times 4.5. And so that's going to be 81,000. 81,000 R. Okay, so then to get R by itself, right, we will divide by the 81,000. Divide by the 81,000. Right, so over here, that'll leave me with just the R. All right, so 4252.80. 4252.80 divided by the 81,000. 81000. Right? So that is going to, we want 3 decimal places. And so the 0 does not cause it to round up. So it's 0.0525. We want all of those places, okay? 0.0525. So we're going to go over here to 0.0525. Right, now the final thing is I'm going to move this 1, 2, right there to that new spot. So that's going to be 5.25% is the rate. Okay. Okay, we're going to do this one last example connecting to real life. All right, so you borrowed $600 to buy a violin. The simple annual interest rate is 15%. You pay off the loan after 2 years of equal monthly payments. How much is each payment? So it took you 2 years. All right, so remember, right, we're using I equals PRT. Now this has a couple of extra things to it when we're done with the first part. All right, so your principal is $600 to buy the violin. The rate is, all right, we're going to move this over 1, 2. So that's 0.15. And then the time is 2 years. So the time is 2 on that. All right, now, so my interest is going to be the principal times the rate times the time. Just very straightforward, simple interest. 600 times 0.15 times 2. All right, so we go over here, 600 times 0.15 times 2. All right, so that's $180. So the interest is $180. Okay, now, how much is each payment? So it's going to take you 2 years to pay that off. So what is the total amount borrowed? Okay, the total borrowed is, we take the original price plus the interest. So 780 is the total amount borrowed. Now we're going to take 2 years, right, to do that. So that is, right, 2 years equals 24 months. So I'm going to pay every month for 24 months. So I'm going to take 780 divided by the 24 months. All right, so 780 divided by the 24 months. So that is 32.5. So that is $32.50 per month until the whole thing gets paid off. Okay, great work.